Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I got out treasure hunting. That is to say, looking for things like gold, silver, jewelry, silverware at secondhand locations. Now today we have a real treat. One of my 3-year-old sons, well actually that's not true because also my 6-year-old daughter. One of the parents in both of the classes is a really, really good jewelry maker. She makes jewelry out of repurposed items, and she has quite a collection of things that she's gotten over the years, and she also sells. So for those of you who maybe get a little annoyed at me, perfectly understandable, for not actually selling any of the things that I put on my channel. You will be glad to know that she does sell, and I will, at the end of the video, have a link to her Etsy store. Well, what she did today was she loaned me her cameo collection. Now, you probably know what a cameo is if you're watching my channel. If you don't, there's something that's been around for a long time. The oldest cameos are from that we know of are from Greece, and they're about 7,000 years old. If I just reach in here, and we're just going to pull one of these out, I'll use it to show what a cameo is, more or less. All right, here we have some. And the correct terminology for a cameo is to actually have a carving where you have 2 different layers in the material, and then you carve it so that one layer is on top, and then you carve down around it so that the next layer actually shows contrast. And we'll show that, I'm sure, in here somewhere with shells. These ones look to be a cameo where they actually put one material on top of another material. Now, technically, there's cameos, which always have like a raised look like that. But then there's intaglio, which I'm grabbing here. These are actually mine. And intaglio is where it's, you see how it's negative? It's carved into the material. So as opposed to being coming out of the material, which is a technical cameo, it's going into the material. So these are intaglio. Now, these days, people call sort of anything with this oval look and a portrait in it a cameo. More or less, when we're talking about cameos, that's pretty much what we're talking about. So when we look through this, we're going to be going through what are more or less all called cameos for sales these days. But I have not looked through any of this. So in this first video, potentially second video, she brought a lot of stuff here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through and we're going to be evaluating these. Now, I don't know a whole lot about cameos. I do know how to identify if a cameo is a good one in terms of quality, and that's what this first video is going to be. So if you enjoy cameos, I think there's going to be some really good stuff in here. So come along with me for the ride as we go through and discover what is in this bag. So let's just start with what we have here. I'm not going to take some of these out of the bag because we don't necessarily need to. If you see here, these are definitely lower quality. The brass that is stamped, and you can see it's stamped because, in fact, let me flip one over here so that we can be looking at the back of one and the front. You know what? I will just pull them out. All right, there we go. So you can see that this is a good example of like a lower quality cameo, in that this is a piece of brass that's stamped out, and you can see where the stampings are, where they didn't actually really finish it. And then it's just lightly held in place. And then we have one material and 2 materials, and that other material is probably glued onto this. So those are cameos, but they're mass produced. They were gold plated. The gold plating is worn off. That's a really good example of low quality cameos. Now, as we go through, I'm going to be sorting these things, and I have a container here that I will be putting some of the nicer things into. Grabbed that at the thrift shop, so we'll be putting some nice things in there, and we'll just continue through. I'm just going to be pulling stuff out and sorting it into different categories. I've prepared a few bins, so if you see me leaning over, that's because I'm putting things into those bins. Now, I think she protected quite a few of these things because they are old and antique, but we're just going to go through and we're going to discover what we have in here. Being very careful because these are, of course, not mine. And I'm not entirely sure which ones she's going to have for sale. But my understanding was that she was gonna probably sell most of them. Wow, look at that. Is that like Bakelite? So we have some kind of old plastic. Wow. I don't know what that is, but I will tell you two things right off. You know, we have a little age to it, maybe not a huge amount of age, but we have brass, and it's a nice brass clasp. You can see how it opens up here. That is not a cheap clasp to produce or an easy clasp to produce, but it is brass, and it's got some age to it. You can see where it's tarnished, and you've got a look you can kind of only get with age. So I'm guessing that this chain of some sort of early plastic is also old. And again, please, if you are watching, leave comments telling me what's going on with any of these things, because I don't really know. Okay, guessing. What are we looking at? Are we looking at Bakelite? Is that what this is? Well, there's the first one. I'm gonna go out on a limb and suggest that maybe it's like a Bakelite chain with a Bakelite, but I could be wrong. It could be another form of plastic. Please leave a comment about it. And if you're leaving comments about these things, you can always leave a little timestamp. So if you pause the video and look at what your time is, if you just punch in that time, like 11 minutes, colon 26 seconds, it will actually give you a little link that will go straight to that part of the video. And that will be very useful for the lady who's loaned me this. And I'm sure she would appreciate any information anyone can give. In fact, I know she will. She probably knows more about these things than I do, but we'll be going through this. This is interesting. I'm going to put that into nice, but not gold bin. All right, let's continue. All right, what kind of treasure are we gonna find in here? Oh my. All right, so right off, I'm gonna say there's a couple things about this that I like. You see the 4 there. This has some real heft to it. Do you see how this can be a pendant or a pin? And that folds beautifully. Oh my, look at that. So this one looks to be, if I'm correct, precious coral. And I think we can probably date the piece fairly well, assuming this is the original pin, and I think it is the original pin. It doesn't look like it's been replaced at any point. But do you see how it's a safety pin? There you go. But these are handmade safety pins. So my understanding is that dates it to like early 1900s, generally speaking. And I think, unless I'm mistaken, we are looking at a mark there. Yep, 10 carat. Wow, look at that. So I'm guessing this is indeed a piece of precious coral that is beautifully carved, set on a 10-carat pendant or pin as you so desire. Man alive, it does not get much better than that, does it? Okay, so this one we are definitely going to be talking about further in the future in another video, and I'm going to go ahead and put that one in our very nice case so that we protect it. All right, let's continue. I will probably be making this video jump a little bit because what I'm going to do is when I'm folding and putting things away here, I'll pause the video so you don't have to watch all of that kind of work. But I'm guessing you want to see things as they're unwrapped, because this is very exciting. Man, that's a nice piece. Do you think we're going to find something quite that nice in here? Oh my. Okay, so looking at the back, it looks like again we have a real shell. And my understanding of cameos is that they would have been made out of a variety of precious stones or shells. Okay, look at that. How beautiful is that? Doves drinking. Now, at a glance, I think what we have here is probably gold fill. I think it's definitely gold fill. You can see, see the top here where you've got the brass color, and then underneath that you have a gold color. So I think at one point this was all gold plate, or gold fill, maybe gold plate. It kind of has a fill look to it, but it was definitely a quality piece. I mean, the carving is beautiful. And then again, we have this sort of latch, which I believe dates the pin at least. Now the pin could always have been replaced at a later date. This one looks probably original to the piece, I'm guessing, dating it as like being very late Victorian, like very early 1900s. Wow, look at that. That's also going to go into our special precious bin. And this is a good example of where we have the top layer of this shell or this material that was used to carve was a different color, and then the cameo process actually, you know, made this relief, and they carved down so that what was remaining was the white color, and then the background is the lighter color that was behind the white color. Okay. Okay. Let's just continue. I think I'm just going to keep doing this through this video until we hit about the half-hour mark. And I will timestamp it so that we can just jump to each individual cameo if you want to be able to skip this. Wow, look at that. That is ornate. Okay, so we have a few things right off the bat that we can talk about from a quality perspective. If we zoom in here, you can see how the stones are, they look to be not completely held in by the prongs, if that makes sense. So you see we have probably, it looks like maybe rhinestones there. You see how that one is not set evenly? And I'm guessing they're glued in. Yeah. So this would be a very nice piece of costume. Now it is missing one stone, looks like. And if you look at the carving, this does look like a real cameo in that it was carved down to where we have the background showing up. But the carving work is just not as nice as the previous one. It's a very nice piece of costume, I believe. Yeah. Oh, and we even have a name, I think. Who made this one? Can we read that? Is that... I'm going to take it off camera and use my loupe. Okay, so we have Florenza. So I don't know my costume jewelry, but I'm guessing that this is a little bit of a nicer one. It's a shame it's missing that stone. But we'll wrap that up and we'll put that in a costume jewelry bin. All right, let's keep going. Kind of like Christmas with this package, isn't it? Oh my. All right, so right off, we're looking at something that's definitely a step over what we were just looking at. There's a variety of reasons for that. One is that clearly the carving is very, very nice. Do you see how the prongs are actually holding the pearls in place as opposed to them being glued in place? The overall color is definitely more gold, but if we look here too, you can see that we have some around the edges, you can see where the gold's wearing off on that. So if we flip this guy over, after we have a real good look at that beautiful, I think precious coral again, face. Yeah. I think what we're looking at here is probably based on the latch, 1800s, mid to late 1800s probably. And it looks like it's probably like a rolled gold. I don't know that this one is... See, the big pin portion here is looking pretty good, even though it's a little tarnished. I'm thinking that might be rolled gold because it's looking pretty good on the face. But it's probably, if it is, it's probably a little bit of a lower karat gold. Keep in mind that karat gold is a mixture of different metals. So for example, one we're all familiar with is 14 karat gold, which is 58.5% gold with other metals like silver and copper mixed in there. Now, if you take that gold content lower and up the copper content, you can get tarnish, especially with lower karat golds. Like 10 karat gold will tarnish. Take your 10 karat gold into a hot tub sometime and see what happens. You can get like 10 karat black even if it's put into the right conditions. So just because this is tarnished doesn't mean it's not made out of a low karat gold, which is what I expect it probably is, some kind of gold fill or some kind of gold, rolled gold. All right, let's go ahead and put this one away and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's in here. Seems like it's some kind of bracelet. Oh my, is it ever? All right, let's see if we can show properly what we've got going on. So right off the bat, I would say we're definitely looking at nicer cameos for sure. Very nicely carved. And proper cameos in that the layer on top is a different color than the layer on the bottom. And you can see where it's actually carved in. So if we flip it over here, oh, this is a beautiful filigree piece. It's very similar to other filigree I've seen. I'm guessing we're going to find that this is silver. Maybe silver with vermeil, so gold plate over silver. We definitely have some tarnish like it's silver. There we go. What do we have here? We have a couple stamps. Can we see them on the camera here? That was the question. All right, I'm going to take this away for a moment. Okay, I had to look through the loop. I can't make out that stamp, but the other stamp is 800. So this is 800 silver. Wow. So this would have been vermeil. It would have been probably a lot shinier when it was made because it had gold plate over that 800 silver. I bet this would shine up beautifully for someone who's going to wear it. It looks like it works perfectly. Let's see. Yep. Boy, that's a nice one. All right, we're going to put that into the nice place. Well, the nice place is sure filling up. Oh, I suppose you might want to see that. Okay. Oh, don't need to zoom out that far. Let's keep opening these up. Ooh, there's some heft to this one. Oh my. Okay, so first impression, just having a look at that, this sure looks like gold. And that might be a diamond. What a beautiful one. Now, also, you see how shiny that background is? It looks like we're talking about not a true old-fashioned cameo in that, yeah, so this piece on top was actually placed on that background. Now, there's a lot of weight to this. I'm wondering if that's like onyx. And then, wow, that's a nice stone. I wonder what that's going to be. I think this is probably going to round out this first video because I'm going to break out the gem tester and we'll have a look at that stone. This isn't giving me any signs. Oh, okay. So we have another sign of quality. See how you can see the stone? In fact, if I put my finger there, you can see it's right there. So they definitely want to showcase that stone and get any light that can come through the background coming through. Now you've probably spotted it already because it's the same spot. We have 14 karat. So we are looking at gold, and I am betting that's going to be a diamond. Now the question I have is, what kind of material is this? It's got some, I can't say for sure, but I'm gonna guess, and please correct me in the comments, but I'm guessing onyx and ivory, potentially. Although I don't see a lot of grain on it. Oh yeah, up in the hair maybe a little bit. Boy, that's a nice one. Okay, let's pause a moment, and then I'm gonna break out the gem tester, get that set up, and we will see if we have a diamond. And I think that will finish off this video. Clearly, we're gonna have a series of videos on this. So if you enjoy cameos, come on back for those videos, and make sure to like, and if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe so that these future videos actually come straight to you. I'll be back in a moment with a gem testing setup. All right, we're back with the gem tester, although it's kind of misbehaving. Let's get this one calibrated properly. Okay, we are calibrated properly, or I thought we were. Okay, there we go. Let's double check here. These gem testers are finicky. Go back, gem tester, you can do it. Might need to end up cleaning this. Okay, so now you're calibrated. Okay, now let us see what happens. I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen, but sure enough, we got a diamond. Let me grab another stone out, make sure that my gem tester is properly behaving myself so that we can feel confident in that diamond diagnosis. You can go back. You can do it Smart Pro Gem I1. can't you? What happens if I put you on simulant again? You go where you're supposed to. Now you go back. Okay. So we're going to check this amethyst right here. Which does nothing. What about these other stones? So you're happy with diamond. You're happy. All right. You do nothing there. What about... So I have a diamond tester at the moment. Let me check if I have another diamond. So I think these are diamonds. Let's see. Yeah, these are diamonds. They're not very good diamonds, but they're diamonds. All right. Okay, now you're happier, little gem tester. I would suggest, if anyone's looking at these gem testers, to take them with a grain of salt. This one is so finicky that I really don't love it, but it has been very good for just diamonds. Let's see, we'll do this now. Won't do anything for my for that, but it does, and we'll do it one more time here. Yeah, it does say that's a diamond. So, grain of salt, and we'll try to figure out what's going on with my gem tester. With that, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And please use this information to go out and find yourself some treasure. Maybe some cameo treasure.
Like this, I've been Thomas.